I guess for whatever reason, it won't let me change my background when I am on Samsung. Interesting. Anyways, guys, I'm Bullhorn Betty. We're in office 2, which is obviously the bedroom, but I had some cool little graphics I wanted to put up behind me that it's not allowing me to do on this particular phone. That's going to suck because I'm changing over to Samsung or Android. I may have to look at a different type of phone if it's not going to allow me to do my background on this. That sucks. Maybe it's on a different thing. Hold on, let me just check here. Okay, so it allows me to do my polls. Compute. We'll do all messages. Hey guys, Kathleen, Bella, YouTuber, Amelia. It's nice to see you. Phil, Denise, Rose. Good morning. But it won't let me change my background. I don't like that. And it won't. I had all my little photos. Let me see. Let me add. Let me hit the plus sign. No, it only lets me take a poll. It lets me post something for live stream. It lets me share my link, but it doesn't allow me to put my graphics behind. I worked on my graphics for you guys this morning, and now I can't put it behind me unless I go to my iPhone. I don't like that, so I guess I'm gonna have to keep my iPhone for our live shows, but I'm going to be moving to Android. I hate iPhones. I think they charge a lot of people a lot of money. I just found out that by ordering anything from an iPhone through their third party agreements, they're taking your money. They're driving up your cost by 30%. And they don't tell you about that. I think when you buy a phone, if there's extra fees, no matter how, even when you pay a bill, when you go on your Walmart app and you go to buy groceries and you wonder why it's 30% more when you buy it through the app versus at the store, it's because of the third party agreements. Apple thinks that no matter what you purchase from their phone, they should get a cut of whatever it is you're purchasing from your phone. But they don't ever tell you that when you purchase your phone. So I'm done with Apple. As soon as I can convert, I've already got a new Windows computer. I don't really necessarily like it as much as I do. I'm probably going to go with something different. But either way, I'm going back to a Samsung. I've been pricing out Samsung products all morning, and I'm making a plan to stop Apple products because when I found out that they were driving up the cost, because think about it, every time a company has to pay somebody a fee, where does that money come from? It comes from us. We drive up our own cost, and I'm not going to contribute to driving up our own cost again. So it's nice to, I saw me and you. Hello, Melanie. It's nice to see you, Crystal Pistols. YouTuber, me and you, Heather. Good morning. West Virginia Holler Girl. It's nice to see you. I got an Android phone. Yeah, and you can do a lot with it. I converted to Apple because Olivia said it was the best thing since sliced bread. I converted over to it and I realized it increased my cost by over 100%. Everything I do on Apple products, you have to pay for it. Everything I used to do on Android was free. So you guys are literally driving up your costs. Why? Because they tell you they have the best, phone, that this is indestructible. So people just buy into it without anything. You know what? I was dumb enough to do it because a friend recommended it. It was by word of mouth. So I converted over, and I've just noticed that all of my costs have gone through the roof. You can't run a business on Apple. That's why everybody's using Windows. You can't run a business on Apple. It drives your costs through the roof. So why in the world, if we're struggling to make our bills meet, why would we buy a phone that increases our cost 100%? It's lunacy. It's absolutely lunacy. So we're ditching it. We're ditching it, okay? Just let you know, we're ditching it. So anyways, I wanted to put you guys behind me, because I had the graphics for Lilly and Jack Sullivan. We're going to be starting out our show with Lilly and Jack Sullivan, and then we're going to go to We've got Lilly and Jack Sullivan, Sebastian Rogers, and then we're going to left-wing violence on this show. So we're going to be first starting out with Lilly and Jack Sullivan. I wish I could show you, but my phone is being difficult. There, right there, is Lilly and Jack Sullivan. They've been missing since May 2nd, 2025. Very hopeful because, the RCMP, they're the investigative body, and they're called the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and their outfit in Nova Scotia kind of took the lead in the search for these two siblings, one that was 6 and one that was 4, I believe. I think 4 and 6, if I recall correctly. I know it's in here, but it's been a little minute. Actually, I don't see their age. Yeah, 6 and 4. Lily is 6, Jack is 4. So they ended up disappearing at the same time, which statistically doesn't happen. Okay, if you're looking at statistics and all this other stuff, it's very few and far between that siblings disappear at the same time. RCMP believes they're out in the woods. There's some anomalies here. There was somebody that was hearing a 5-speed engine ripping up and down the ATV trails in the middle of the night before they were reported missing. We know that Daniel's mother would not let him on the ATV, which I thought was really odd. This was before we ever even knew about this trail, in the middle of the night. That wasn't reported until much later. And I kept saying, when they were talking about him asking his mom said something to the effect, "Can I borrow the ATV?" And she said no, or something like that. And that she ended up getting her other son, and they went and picked him up at the pipeline. I remember that as crystal clear. There has been a show that has been kind of monitoring this. I think this channel is actually from Canada because it says Canadian True Crime. It's a Criming Shame is the name of it. We've used some of their content in discussing this because they had Belinda Gray on there. Daniel Martell was always communicating in the chat over there on It's a Criming Shame. So we kind of went over there and just kind of watched. The lady's named Sunny. I just, according to this article, Sunny Austin. And she says she sits in front of a microphone and a small desk in the corner of her bedroom. I have an office, across the hall from my bedroom, but a lot of my business, as you guys can see, is in the bedroom because this is where we spend a lot of time reading because we're usually on here. I'm usually watching TV. I removed the TV out of my office. And so I'm constantly in here watching articles, watching other people's description on what happened to certain aspects of the case. It's what I've used to analyze lots of different videos because it's a much bigger screen. But she sits in a small desk in the corner of her bedroom as she settles in as host to host a live stream centered around 2 young children who have been missing from Nova Scotia nearly 5 months. The YouTuber often spends hours a day discussing Jack and Lily Sullivan with hundreds of people around the world. Their comments popping up on the screen as Austin dissects every aspect of the mysterious case. Now, one of the situations is that allegedly these kids were seen by mom and stepfather inside their trailer. We found out the trailer was dilapidated, holes in the floor, constant plastic. We saw where Daniel's mother, Janie, was living, and she's living in this ran down camper RV makeshift house with a bunch of tarps over the roof because the roof is leaking. These people are very, very poor. They're talking about making an area for a pool, yet no pool. Where they're wanting to put a pool seems pretty rocky, and it seems like it would puncture the bottom underneath the pool. But I digress. But I would think that if they have money for a pool for the kids, they would have money to put a decent roof on their camper or a decent floor in their trailer. But again, I digress. The whole story to me doesn't make sense, and you guys know me. If something doesn't make sense, I'm very vocal. Yesterday, we were talking about Caden Spate. We had some disgruntled trolls all of the sudden that just popped up out of nowhere in a very peculiar time. Just come in here and starts, lambasting me about how he would never do this to his mother. Oh. And I'm like, look, I'm not trying to accuse the kid of something. I just know when something stinks to high heaven. Okay, I've done this long enough. We've went through hundreds, if not thousands of cases in comparing to other cases that we've covered deeply. And, it's just one of these things. When I smell something funny, I smell something funny. I don't sit there and pinpoint where it is. I try to give it some time so it will manifest itself and I can find out where that is coming from. Oh, thank you, Melanie. Melanie gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, please don't forget to tell Melanie thank you. And for the person that received this covenant, ooh, Libby, you received the coveted Bullhorn Betty membership. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard. Yay, Libby! We love Libby. Libby's been part of the family forever. So it's a peculiar situation that it seems like when we hear and now hear both sides of the story, it even further doesn't make sense because now we're looking at interviews. The one interview Malaya gave, which, man, she's been smart. Think about it. A mom lost both of her children that were high energy, right? She doesn't really go out and look, and she just leaves the area and never comes back. Just gone. Never comes back, has her car towed where she's going, never goes back to the area, never goes back to Daniel's, never bothers searching. Oh, she's got time. She's got time for the beach, y'all. She got time to go hang out with her friends, but she doesn't have time for her children that have been missing. And it's awfully funny, in my opinion, awfully funny, that Darren Geddes comes out and says, oh, the kids are fine. Come to find out he's related to Malaya. Belinda Gray comes out and says, look, I think the kids are gone. This is the biological grandmother, paternal grandmother of these children, of these grandchildren. The father that has nothing to do with these children, Cody. It's his mother's Belinda Gray. And she has acknowledged that her son, after Malaya and her son split, her son cut off all ties to Malaya and the children. And she tried to have a relationship with Malaya and the children, but about 1.5 to 2 years ago, when she got with Daniel, she cut off all ties to even Belinda. So Belinda hasn't even had a close relationship with her grandchildren, and then boom, she finds out her grandchildren are gone. Malaya takes a hiatus out of town, never comes back, has been in hiding since, has never talked, never pleaded to the public for her children. She's never ever once, all the stuff, especially Malaya. We have to focus on Malaya because Malaya is mom. And Malaya's behavior is quite odd for the situation. Because let's face it, as time goes on, your need to find out what happened to your children overpower you. We haven't had that moment with Malaya yet, where she's come down and just say, I just need somebody to find my kids. Like it's been forever. And she has just had it. She was told to, she would be saying, I was told to be quiet. I was told to let law enforcement handle it, but I can't take it no more. I don't know where my babies are. We haven't seen that yet. That's odd. That's odd, y'all. That is not right. So we still see Daniel. Daniel's still pleading with the public to believe him. I don't believe him. Something ain't right here. I know. I trust my gut. I've always trusted my gut. My gut has not led me astray yet. It's when I've avoided listening to my gut. It's when I've avoided it. I haven't talked to my, I haven't had the conversation with my gut, so to speak. That is when I'm led wrong, in the wrong direction. Good morning, Gypsy. It's nice to see you, love bug. But here, I trust my gut, and it's been telling me from the very beginning, red flags, red flags. None of the people that we trust in true crime have said anything positive about Malaya or Daniel. And we're finding out right now that the cadaver dogs are going in. I thought we were told cadaver dogs were already there. Why is this a new big deal with the cadaver dogs? I just heard this, so I'm learning all of this, all of a sudden, right? Hey guys, we got 140 people in here right now. If you guys could I think Sonny said you can just double tap on your phone, but make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button on your way in and your way out. That's the best way you can support this channel. It's a free way to support this channel. Right now, we only have about 40 likes. I'd like to get that up there, at least to about 70, at least 50%. That would be great. That would be great. Teresa, it's nice to see you. Katie and Jack and Lily's mom must be trying, right? I feel ya. I feel ya. Be good if RCMP would let us know. Actually, in all fairness, YouTuber, they provided a report. It was very wishy-washy. But they did provide a report, which is more than I can say for American law, like for American law enforcement bodies. We never see those reports. We never get those reports from our law enforcement around the states. I think as far as transparency, in many cases, I think, the Canadian police have been a little more transparent in certain areas that our law enforcement probably would not be, so we have to look at that. But and they also say, like, YouTubers spend hours discussing Lilly and Jack, but they don't talk about the hours, the hundreds of hours when these lights and cameras are off that we spend on this right here and on TV right there, researching these cases. It's quite a lot. It's quite extensive. But some of the comments stand out, especially the ones that come from Belinda Gray, Daniel Martell, Darren Geddes. Again, I've never liked Darren. Darren, in his actual appearance and then finding out he's associated with Malaya, really put even, it made me feel like there were even more red flags. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's more red flags going on than we know when it comes to Malaya. Like, Malaya, to me, feels like there's something majorly wrong with her. I think it's the drugs. Daniel, likewise. You can tell the whole family's a hot mess express. There's a reason why people live like that, okay? Now, there are just some poor people out there, okay? And I get that, and you have to live, but there's no reason to live dirty, okay? My family from Mayaca City, I'm telling you, we come from very, very poor starts in our life, okay? My father made something of himself, and so does my mom. That's a little different. We were kind of raised with brass spoons in our mouth. I don't want to say silver spoons, but definitely brass spoons. We were kind of, upper, whatever. But at the end of the day, our beginnings were very, very poor. And the one thing that they always said is you don't have to be filthy and, being poor. You don't have to be filthy. And it's like, these people live like this for a purpose. And if you guys are living your life in filth and stuff, it's not healthy for you. Okay? If you're feeling really gunky and toxic, start cleaning up yourself. Start cleaning up your life. Start cleaning up your environment. It might help you with a more positive, enlightening experience, but start cleaning things up. Start getting your life in order. Good morning, Seth. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you. So there's a reason why these people live this way, okay? If you're out there and you're poor, sometimes you got to work 100 times harder than the next person. That means you got to maintain a full-time job plus educate yourself to get you out of the rut you're in. If you're going to consistently stay in the same rut and keep being on that hamster wheel and never feeling like you're accomplishing anything, it's because you're spending too much time focusing on things that aren't going to help you move ahead. Okay? And you need to start finding out what are those things. I can't make those decisions for you. You know what's going on in your life. You know which way you need to go. That nagging little voice on your shoulder is guiding you somewhere. Where is it guiding you, and what are you putting up? What kind of fight are you putting up with that message you're hearing, but you ain't trying to listen? There's a message being told to you. Okay? There's something in your ear saying, just because you're working at McDonald's, it's time for you to start taking those McDonald's credits and start taking yourself to college. Most of these national companies have paid programs for colleges. If you're not picking up on those, if you don't have a high school education, then your first start is getting your diploma. You need to go and get that. But don't let anybody tell you you can't be something. If you want to be something, you need to put steps in place to go do it. But the reason why I'm going on this dissertation is because this entire family, Daniel's mom and dad are comfortable living like this. And so I'm just going to say that you don't have to live like that, okay? But when I hear Darren saying that the kids are alive, he has it on good authority. The kids are alive. Whose authority? He's never explained that. He's never saying thank you, me and you. He's never explained it. Where did he hear that information? Malaya? Because it seemed like a lot of people from their family were going off information that were told to them by either Malaya or Daniel, the two people that we on the outside would deem as suspects. Janie is a suspect too because she was the other adult on the property. And if his brother was there as well, which we're hearing rumors that the brother might have been staying there, he would be a person of interest as well. We have 4 adults and 3 children. One of those children were 2 of those adults, allegedly. How in the world do we have 4 adults and 2 children outside unattended? To me, that doesn't make sense, and therefore, the story doesn't make sense. It doesn't compute. So YouTubers, the true crime community, we can sit there and keep these cases alive. Austin, known as Sunny Justice, said in a virtual interview with her from her home in Langley, BC, British Columbia. So she is from Canada. I thought she was. It's really about being a voice for the victims, and that really is the core of everything. Austin's show, A Criming Shame, is one of the many crime shows on YouTube that have been discussing the case of Lily, 6 years old, and Jack, 4, who vanished from their home in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia on the morning of May 2nd. These type of shows mark an evolution in how people engage with crime and mystery. It's never been more interactive. They create opportunities for those directly involved with a case to speak their mind, because that comes with both benefits and pitfalls. While police say the discussions can and have led to real-world leads, they have, and other experts also raise ethical concerns about potentially reducing people who are already suffering consumable and often monetized content. Doesn't matter. We have a right to put it out there, and people that try to suppress that right are disgusting to me, and especially if it comes from any type of governments, whether it's Canadian government or the United States government. These are services. These cases would never be kept alive if we relied on mainstream media, which we had for many years. And we had for many years many cold cases. It hasn't been until social media stepped in, until social media content creators, including the ones that go out and do sonar and in lakes and stuff, that these cases started getting solved. So let's be honest with law enforcement. The only reason why they don't like social media is because, in all fairness, they're arrogant. And I get their arrogance, but you know what? Sometimes you just need to stand aside and hold the beer, okay? And that's what they can't stand, because they feel like the more this gets rise, the less control they have over these investigations, and they need clear instructions. But constantly putting down social media is going to be a no-go, okay? I think law enforcement is getting it. You don't want to be fighting with social media. We are entirely too big. I'm just going to tell you that just like that. We are entirely too big. So it's going to be one of these things where you can fight this. You can fight it if you want to. But in my opinion, being proactive and embracing what you have would be more of a path forward, a positive path forward. But, we're going to have to wrestle with law enforcement until they get and understand just how incredibly large the true crime community is out there. And it's a community that they could enlist for help, that would actually do a lot of great work, if they weren't such boneheads about it. Since then, 56-year-old woman has amassed over 18,000 subscribers and tens of thousands of views on her videos multiple times a week. Austin returns home from working a full-time customer service representative in hospitality industry to sit down at her computer for hours-long lives discussing Jack and Lilly. She sometimes joins co-star Sharman Stewart from the True Crime Story podcast. The siblings were reported missing from their mother Malehya Brooks-Murray, who told police they wandered from their rural mobile home, but extensive search of the nearby dense wood turned up little evidence apart from a pink blanket. I think those children are buried somewhere. Meanwhile, Brooks-Murray and the children's stepfather, Daniel, have been estranged since the day after the disappearance, as rumors continue to swirl. She left the area, blocked him, and never came back looking for her kids. Okay, she's either neck deep involved in the disappearance, most likely murder of her children, or she knows that Daniel is, and she can't even bear to look at him anymore. And she knows there's no point in going back and has completely blocked him out of her life for what she has done to her kids. But if that's the case, then why isn't she opening her mouth? There's something more here, okay? I trust my gut. This isn't normal. This isn't normal behavior by an innocent mommy, okay? Austin doesn't pretend to be a journalist, but rather an alternative to traditional media, allowing more open discussions, and she acknowledges not everything is based in truth. On September 19th, Austin went live to discuss the announcement that police would be bringing in cadaver dogs as part of the investigation. About halfway through the video, comments from Martell appears. I should release all the information I brought to major crimes that would point fingers. It's undeniable and I'll hold back, wrote Martell. So it sounds like he's got some information that shows that something nefarious is going on, because he says, in quotes, I should release all the information I brought to major crimes that would point fingers. It's undeniable and I'll hold back. That's what he wrote. Despite acknowledging that unfounded theories do arise on her show, Austin feels she helps raise the case profile. And I agree. It's all, we have a right to discuss. We have a right to opine. We have a right to theorize. And the hell with the people that try to say we don't, you know? And those same idiots are the ones on here espousing hate with their ability to speak. But yet want to say, oh, that they shouldn't say this, they shouldn't say that. Well, then sew your lips shut, boo-boo. Sew your lips shut. Belinda Gray, the children's paternal grandmother, began watching Austin's video amid lack of answers about the case. She wasn't being kept informed by the police, as only unnamed family designated to receive those updates. In the beginning, it was my only way to get any information, Gray said during a recent interview at her home. As she sits at her kitchen table with posters and photos of Jack and Lilly pinned on the refrigerator nearby, she lists off 10 true crime shows she regularly monitors on YouTube. Before her grandchildren went missing, she had no idea that the world even existed. She started speaking with Austin over Facebook Messenger early in the investigation, and the two have become friends. Grace sometimes appears as a guest on the show. She says it allows her to dispel hearsay and get her side of the story out there. For example, in the beginning, there were rumors that her son, Cody Sullivan, was incarcerated in Western Canada. In fact, there is someone with the same name who's facing criminal charges in BC, but it's a coincidence and not her son. Gray also connected with a BC lawyer through Austin's show, who was helping her pro bono explore her legal rights regarding the children. Her son decided not to be in the children's lives when he and Malaya Brooks-Murray broke up about 3 years ago, but Gray, nevertheless, remained involved with Jack and Lilly. During visits with their grandmother, Lilly often helped her in the garden, and Jack played quietly with his toy dump trucks and tractors. She announced on It's a Criming Shame that she would be seeking temporary legal guardianship of the children in order to be kept more informed about the case by police and to help care for them in the events they are found. Interesting. And so this case goes on and on. It's quite an extensive case, or quite an extensive story here about Sonny, which I think Sonny's done a pretty good job. There were some things at the beginning that I really didn't care for, and I was very vocal on those few items. For the most part, I do go over to Sonny's channel and watch for updates on this case. Now the next case is Sebastian Rogers, which is a child that disappeared. He was 15 years old at the time of his disappearance. He disappeared on February 26, 2024. That's correct, 2024, not this year, but last year. It's been over 18 months since he has disappeared. He has since turned 16, and he's on target to turn 17 in December. He's been gone for almost 2 years. We do have an event planned for his 2-year anniversary or milestone. I don't like calling it an anniversary because anniversaries imply something good. This is not anything good. This is a milestone. It's a horrible milestone to have. It's a horrible milestone for any parent that actually gives a crap about their children. We deal with a lot of parents that give a crap about their children. So the parents that we represent here on this show, these are never good dates. Never good dates. Now, I do realize in this particular case, the mom and the stepdad are very thankful that 2 years is coming because they haven't been caught or arrested or thrown in jail for any of their trespasses on Sebastian Rogers. And those trespasses include 5 different CPS reports, 5 different visits to their home in a 14-month period. Obviously, something was going on in that house, in that county, covered it up and did not even let the father, biological father, Seth Rogers, which you just saw in the chat saying hi. Seth Rogers has been an advocate for his son, trying to find out the truth, and he has been fighting their local government and law enforcement in Sumner County because it's corrupted. This family has a lot of ties into that community, and their family gives that community a lot of money by way of impact fees because they are developers and builders in that community. So they are the strongest support of that local government. As many of you guys know that are involved in politics, one of the things, the biggest things here is our builders, our developers buying and paying our local government, right? They have a lot of pull in local government. So we have to sever that. Every chance I get, I'm in there making sure that our developers here in Manatee County know their role and stuff like that. But there in Sumner County, they don't have that that strength in that community. All they have is corrupt practices and good old boys club. And that's what we got out of this community over a decade, 15 years ago, in the last 2 decades. We've been working on it. It hasn't been an easy process, but all communities have these problems, especially when they go from small communities into much larger, much more focused. The reason why Sumner County probably would have been able to act and engage in this practice for a very, very, very long time, for many more years, had it not been for Sebastian Rogers' disappearance. And then their corruption and their corrupt practices have become a front stage for that community. Now everybody knows how horrible they are, including arresting people for DUIs they didn't commit and First Amendment and constitutional as well as civil rights grounds. They do very good at trying to protect themselves from civil liability, and how they're able to do that is all they have to do is pass you through to the probable cause hearing. So this is that preliminary hearing that they pushed me through, even though they knew that their case failed. They did that intentionally so I could not sue that county. They're very dirty. They're very corrupted. And now we see them. I'm going to force them to arrest me again. I'm going to force them to arrest me again for non-compliance, right? For not violating any law, because I want to sue that county so stinking bad. But now I'm left with Katie and Chris. And I do plan on suing the shit out of them. I told you I feel bankruptcy is in their future. I feel that they're living paycheck to paycheck as is with all the stuff that they've got and a little bit of money that they're making. I think it's time for them to be met with the fate of their own horrible stuff. And so they haven't even began to hear the wrath of Bullhorn Betty yet, but they will lawfully and legally. We do not do things underhanded or unlawfully. I still have my last word with Judge Ron Blanton. Still haven't had that opportunity yet. Probably won't get it, but he'll still hear from Bullhorn Betty. I can guarantee that. I can guarantee he will be hearing from Bullhorn Betty. But this is the county that is handling Sebastian Rogers' case and is fully corrupted. And it appears from my position that they are literally obstructing and assisting the two people that most likely injured their child. There's no excuse whether Sebastian was injured or not. He was. There was 5 CPS reports that they did nothing with and did not even notify his father. I guarantee if they would have notified Seth about all of this violence going on inside their home, Seth would have immediately taken his son away from that home. They didn't give him the opportunity. And then the next thing that was found out is that his son was gone. He had no idea these problems were even going on inside of their home until after his son was missing. His son has never been found again. His ex-wife and her piece of shit husband, Christopher Proudfoot, hashtag Chris Proudfoot, and hashtag Katie Lynn Proudfoot that works for @Brinks Home Security Systems. They seem to not really care. They never seem to want to search for him, even though they were military trained. Chris Proudfoot actually went out and searched. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. Pumpkin spice. Went out and searched for people in a tsunami or in an event when he was a Navy man. And he's never once gotten a search party for his own stepson. And he tries to shame anybody that points that out. Chris and Katie fled the area. That's the biggest red flag. When parents start fleeing, we know something's up. That's why Malaya and Daniel are under the hot seat. Right? So they fled the area. Then they came back. And then they left again. But the next time they left, they went looking for a motorcycle. They were trying to go motorcycle shopping. They're ready to start living their best life. Whatever they did to Sebastian, they got him out of the house. They're ready to go party. And mind you, they are on drugs. I guarantee they cannot pass a piss test. Maybe Chris might be able to because he's an alcoholic. But Katie, she's a pill-popping, mama. Brinks, you might want to start bringing back some drug testing. Just saying. She's a pill popper. Last I checked, she's a pill popper. She doesn't have prescription for some of the stuff she's been on. I've got witnesses saying they watched her mother-in-law hand her a pill. That's illegal. They should both be in jail. I'm just saying. It's illegal. We don't violate the law. I don't hand anybody my prescription. Breaking the law. In front of witnesses, too. No. We know there was gummies. Got eyewitnesses for gummies. And we definitely know you guys are drunk mofos. They drunks. I'm just joking. Anyways. Enough with the satire, folks. And he wears granny panties. And I heard that they swing. I heard, and I'm not talking about, I couldn't understand why they never took Sebastian out, to the playgrounds. Well, it's because they're too busy swinging the other way. They don't like no damn playground swings. It's not fun for the mommy and the stepdaddy. And Katie coming from all that funky monkey makes you wonder. I'm sorry. It makes you wonder. She comes from a crazy family. A crazy family that loves children, which is sick. Sick. At least that's what the evidence shows. Just saying. So he disappeared. Chris and Katie, hashtag Chris and Katie Proudfoot, decide to take off. They haven't searched. They don't really care. The only time they rear their ugly head is when something comes out about them that doesn't make sense. Like most recently, the FBI saying there's a lot of questions here. We don't have this child coming out of the house. We have this child going into the house, but never once coming out of the house. And that was a real bad look for Chris and Katie. And what do you have right after that comes out? You got Chris mocking Seth out there. Every time they go dormant and they crawl under their rock. You know how you get them out from under their rock? You have something splattered through the news that looks bad. And then all of a sudden, the cockroach Chris Proudfoot comes out from under that rock, always trying to leave his little pride and joy roach. Katie Lynn Proudfoot, the psychotic child abused that turned to abuser, which is his wife and the mother of this child, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Law enforcement still will not let the FBI take over. The U.S. Marshals, which have this amazing team to find missing people and deceased people, they have denied their help. U.S. Marshals were ready to come in. All they needed to do was sign one single piece of paper. That's all Sumner County needed to do was sign a single piece of paper. And you know what they chose to do? They chose not to sign that piece of paper, and they chose to stop searching for Sebastian completely. They have decided, because Seth is kicking up such a storm, that they have decided to shut the investigation completely down. That's what they have done. Because that's just exactly the type of thing that Frizzell, when I told Frizzell, he was that Terry Frizzell attorney, that piece of shit attorney that is as corrupted as the frickin' politicians, because he was a politician. He was a politician. If you guys have Terry Frizzell as an attorney, fire him. Fire him. He's doing you a disservice, because he will always work for the people he likes the most, and that's the county and the government. He does not work for you. I know that for a fact, because I hired him to work for me, and he did more for the county than he did for me. Told me to pack a toothbrush. You know what I did? I fired his ass and got an actual attorney. That's what I did. I fired his ass and got an actual attorney. And as you see, Bullhorn Betty didn't go back to jail. As a matter of fact, the case was tossed. If I would have kept Terry Frizzell, I'd have been in a lot of trouble. You know why? Because he's fucking corrupt. Terry Frizzell should have lost his license. I didn't go there. I chose not to go there. Oh, believe me, I had a case to go there. I was ready to. I prayed over it. I think he learned his lesson. But I'm telling you, by the time I'm done with him, he's going to have the worst name in Sumner County. And I think that's the best thing I can do for him. That's absolutely the best. We're going to do a complete show on Terry Frizzell. I'm going to, after my case is done and over with, I'm going to break attorney-client privilege and show you guys exactly how much of a piece of shit he is. And exactly why the whole entire world should never hire him or his firm with his wife ever again. His wife is getting drug into this shit as well. So hate channels, go ahead and clip this and send it on over to Terry Frizzell. I'm still coming for you, boo-boo. I'm still coming for you. Still coming for you. Lawfully and legally. Lawfully and legally. So these are the people that are searching for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. They searched for him for 8 days. As you see, Lilly and Jack has had multiple searches, many searches. Summer Wells has had many searches. Sebastian has not. Layla Santinello, an adult user, a substance abuse user that most likely lost her life. Even their community in Tennessee has done multiple searches for this young woman that most likely lost her life, being in and around people that were utilizing and abusing substances. They could have harmed her, or she could have accidentally harmed herself. Either way, we know something bad happened to her, because she's never been seen or heard from since. And that happened about 18 months before Sebastian's case happened. So we have all of these other cases going on in and around Tennessee that continuously has searches going on throughout the investigation, except Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. So that is what's leading me to my assessment that they are so butthurt in Sumner County and so freaking arrogant that they're willing to tank a case for a missing child because of their pissing problem. Because of their pissing problem. They are the most disrespectful, disgusting, and I can't wait until Sumner County has a new sheriff and that whole entire county starts getting its just desserts, because that county has been oppressed for a really long time because of this good old boy system that's been held on to in that county. I'm going to break that shit up. You bet your ass I've already started working on it. And I'm not stopping until all these animals that had the audacity to come after a woman that followed the law, meanwhile, disregarding a missing child from their community over a pissing contest. Over a pissing contest is disgusting to me. And that is what happened in Sumner County. Under the leadership of Sumner County, every single county commissioner, except for the one that actually spoke up, should be removed and replaced in the next election, in the next 2 elections. The sheriff needs to be removed, and all of those magistrate and circuit civil judges the general session judges, they all need to be booted. They are part of the problem. Judge Ron Blanton, doesn't know even civil litigation. What in the hell is a judge doing residing over civil litigation matters when he has no flipping clue what the hell he is doing? I'm just asking. That man needs to go back and get civil litigation 101 because he doesn't know about precedent. He is so stuck in criminal law, which is totally different from civil law. He is a disgrace to the robe. I said it. He's a disgrace to the robe. Sumner County, Eric Craddock, Sheriff Snuggle Struggles, is a disgrace to the badge. You see a problem here? Everybody in these leading positions are a disgrace. They are corrupted. And they have to be replaced. So Sumner County, get your crap together and start doing better for your community. Your votes do matter. And look at all of the damage your votes have done so far. Look at all the damage your votes have done so far. All right. So getting into the left-wing violence that is consuming this country while the politicians, the Democrat-led politicians, are inciting the violence. They are encouraging the violence. They are supporting the violence, and they are giving all the signals in every single one of their speeches that they will protect the people that are trying to assassinate people on my side. It's getting kind of hard to ignore what's going on and to ignore who's fully encouraging these people. And it's also hard to ignore who is funding these groups around the country. I'm going to tell you guys, if you're in communities that have ICE detention centers and you're hearing large groups, it's time for you to get your large group and go and counter protest lawfully, legally, and do not agitate or fight. If you're going to be out there and you're going to be opposing the violence on ICE, you can't be part of the violence. You see what I'm saying? I'm so sick of the hypocrisy in this country. And that's the biggest part of this. You can't sit there and say you're against violence and then be violent. Those two things don't go together. If you're going to maintain that you're a nonviolent protester, you need to be a nonviolent protester. What I'm seeing out there is not protesting. Okay, I am a professional protester. That means I follow the laws. I know what's lawful and what is illegal. Blocking federal, they should all be arrested and handcuffed immediately. I would never allow people that I oversee to put their lives in immense danger like I have witnessed. I would shut that protest down if that was going on under my watch. I would shut it down. I would kick everybody off myself. And trust me, I have the balls to do it. You don't ever want to step when I'm angry. Trust me, you do not. I follow the law lawfully and legally, but you get in my personal space, your ass is going to be on that ground. Okay, I do not play with my personal safety. You'll find that out very, very quickly. Um, but what we're dealing with here is violence. Okay? We're on a channel. We cover true crime on this channel. We denounce all violence. We denounce vigilante justice. If you do not like the laws in this country, it's your responsibility to get off your ass and go change the laws, not get off your ass and go beat the hell out of someone. Okay? Because the laws are the laws, no matter how many ICE agents you take out, no matter how many trucks you try to put and get yourself in front of, it doesn't matter. The law's the law. They're going to be able to keep going and arresting all these people until you get off your dumb ass and go to the people that change the laws, your Congress. Being an idiot in the middle of a street, putting your life in danger over what? Them doing their job? That is the most stupid thing I've ever heard. I would never allow somebody to do that as a professional protester. Okay? There is no way. So, with that being said, there is no way I condone what I'm seeing outside of those ICE agents' facilities. Now, if they wanted to be on the road and they wanted to have their signs up and hoot and holler from the sidelines, you know I'm all about that. That's protesting to me. When you start beating on somebody's cars, popping, doing property damage, that is not a protest. Okay? That is civil unrest. That is violation of law. That is property damage. That's a whole host of criminal conduct. I do not want to be a part of it, and it would never happen had I been there. Okay? It just wouldn't. Those are not protests. That is criminal conduct disguised as a protest. You do not get protection from our Constitution when you're doing criminal conduct under the guise of protest. Okay? When we go out to protest, we follow the law. We don't skirt the law. We follow the law. We want to make sure our people are safe, and more importantly, that law enforcement is safe. Okay? So, in my opinion, lock all of them up. Lock them all up. I am a barbaric woman. You like that whole president from Colombia coming into our trying to get sedation. He should have been arrested, and that right there is enough. When you start having other countries come in, that's death sentence stuff here in this country, as well as other countries, not just here. They should have immediately arrested him and held him without bail. And if he was found to be corrupted or seditious or any type of thing, he should have been executed. I'm that kind of barbaric. I believe in the Bible, and I believe that there is laws that support the stuff that I'm talking about. I truly do. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. We have a bunch of laws here that you cannot be treasonous. You cannot do espionage. Do you guys know that they found several apartments? Turkey Man sent this to me. Several apartments. Abandoned apartment buildings that they were setting up these cell phone farms to break down, to stop. Like it was a terrorist attack on our intercom, our interphone systems, our Wi-Fi in the New York. Like they had enough that they were going to literally be able to cut off all communication in New York. They found this. The Secret Service found this plot literally hours before Trump was supposed to be at the UN. Something I think was supposed to happen. They found these phones, these hundreds of thousands of phones. They said it was enough to completely wipe out the phone grid in New York. And if that's in New York, God knows what else is around here. So we have that going on. And then we have the escalator failures, the teleprompter failures, and the overall UN's disrespect to the United States, where they were actually holding this meeting in a building that we, the tax fund payer people, paid for. You got me messed up. You know what I'm going to say? Defund the whole damn UN. You do not disrespect the United States. We pay too much money around this world. Donald J. Trump should be rolled out on a gold freaking mattress or a gold whatever carpet, gold carpet, not red carpet, gold carpet. as much money as we spend around this world for other countries and everything else like that, and you're going to be disrespectful to our president? Bad move. Because our president represents people like me in this country. Okay? And I don't know what these Democrats are thinking on this thing. They're about to shut down our country. And they actually think we're going to come to the table and hand them $1 trillion. They've got something messed up. Because I can tell you, me and as well as millions of people like me are telling President Trump, shut down the government. We're not complying. They're not going to extort $1 trillion from us. We're done. We're done paying for everybody else. Right now, we need to worry about American citizens, and that's what we need to be doing. But this left-wing violence is a direct result of that. I absolutely believe it. Because we are cutting off the purse strings. I said that since Charlie Kirk's assassination. And this is left-wing terrorism. If the reason why they keep perpetuating it online is because they know they have this whole transgender militia, all these other militias on their side, while they kept trying to strip us of our guns. They could no longer fight about our guns. They started picking up the guns and showing us exactly why they wanted to take our guns. They wanted to take our guns, folks. And look how many on their side have guns and are turning them on us. Now you guys understand why we would never give our guns up. Our high-powered rifles, nothing. We're not going to give them up. Why? Because we have the Democrat Party that we've been fighting with for over 100 years. And they want to turn us into a communist country, take all of our property, all of our money, and ration it around. If you look at any communist country, it doesn't work. Okay? And until you're ready to hand over the keys to your house, your car, and your checking account, that's what communism requires. You do understand that, right? That's what communism requires. We no longer own the country, our government does. Right now, the way our country is designed, we own our country. Remember how the Democrats are saying there's no kings? What do you think communism is? There's a king in communism. But there's no king in a constitutional republic. Remember that. Remember that. The people that are always screaming no kings want a king. The people that are screaming they're anti-fascist are the fascists. The ones that are screaming we're oppressive are the ones that are oppressing. And then when they don't get their way, they turn up the rhetoric to their crazed lunatic following, and now we become prey. So ICE agents under attack. Charlie Kirk was just assassinated. We had the transgender guy that didn't want to be transgender anymore because his mommy wanted, or he couldn't acknowledge his mommy was accurate and that he would regret being a transgender person. So he decided to go and shoot up a Catholic school while children were praying. We had another man that was released 14 times, stab a Ukrainian refugee. And that's just the most recent list of this left-wing violence. And every single Democrat talking head is still encouraging it every single day. The Democrat Party, the left-wing party of this country, is encouraging it and inciting it every single day. So for everybody that has a D next to your name that's voting with the Democrats, you guys are telling me that this is what you are voting for. You are voting for those guns to be aimed at people like me. I'm not okay with that. How the hell would you feel if I stood by while our guns were aimed your way? You know damn well I would never allow that. You know, every single one of you come here every single day and know that there is no way I would stand by and allow that to happen. Yet I watch people that come on true crime week after week saying that they don't like violence. They want to end the violence. They want to find the criminals for our victims. Yet they still are supporting the reason why we've got victims. I'm having a hard time understanding this. So somebody's going to have to explain it to me. Somebody from my Democrat counterpart. How is this okay? How can we be here every single day fighting for nonviolence in this true crime community because we have so many victims while supporting an entire party that keeps perpetuating this violence by throwing all these violent criminals back on our streets with zero bond, killing and raping our people? How is that okay? Charlie Kirk killings put a rise in left-wing terror in spotlight as study shows violence hitting a 30-year high. A 30-year high. We're going to have a commercial.
Manufacturers on Almerton Road is having a huge hot tub factory sale.
I don't really care about hot tubs. I don't know about you, but not for me. They're forcing me to watch 20 seconds of it, so I figured I might as well turn it off. Whenever you force me to watch something, I'm not going to watch it. And I would never buy anything that forces me to sit here for 30 solid seconds. Sorry, Fox News. And I don't want a hot tub in Florida. It's not enough.
When I do stuff like this, we record all of it so that we put on the internet so people can see these ideas collide. When people stop talking, that's when you get violence. That's when civil war happens, because you start to think the other side is so evil.
Is there an assassination culture coming out of the radical left in this country? Just consider this. There are currently 3 accused assassins in court on this day. Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk, suspected assassin. Ryan Ruth, charged with attempting to assassinate President Trump.
Wow.
And Luigi Mangione, accused of executing in cold blood, daylight, middle of Manhattan, the United Healthcare CEO. A deeply disturbing study out of Rutgers University shows violent political rhetoric as being increasingly normalized. Here's a quote. Political violence appears to have surged, especially among politically left-leaning segments of the population. Data from that very study show what respondents from the left actually say it.
You know why? Because they can't win any other way. The only way the Democrats are going to ever win again is if they kill us all. That's what I truly believe.
Acceptable, even justified. Senior national correspondent digging into it for us, William Lajeunesse in Los Angeles. William.
Well, here are actually 2 new reports that suggest there's this growing tolerance for political violence across the board. But
don't you know we need reports? Because we can't use our common sense, right? We need reports. We need to pay $200, $300, $1 million for these reports to tell us what we already know. Just so we have the flippin' report. Welcome to U.S. politics. Just to say the least.
Especially, as you mentioned, on the left. According to those Rutgers University researchers, in a poll of more than 1,000 Americans, 50% who self-identify as progressive said killing Elon Musk can be somewhat justified.
That's sick.
56% said the same for assassinating President.
So there's the proof in the pudding. Half of their party. I'm telling you, if you guys do not start denouncing this, don't come to the Bullhorn Betty channel saying you're anti-violence. You want to get these bad guys off the streets. Well, you need to start in your own party first, because this is sick. If this was in our party, I would remove the R. This is so. I would remove my R. I would be an independent. I wouldn't vote ever again if this was in my party. This is sickening.
14% said it could be completely justified. Also, 59% of those same respondents said destroying a Tesla dealership in protest was somewhat acceptable. And where is this hate coming from? Well, social media. The Rutgers report said that the platform Blue Sky, the Democrat alternative to X, quote, plays a significant and predictive role in amplifying radical ideas.
So a Democrat platform, not like Parler or Truth Social, The Democrat platform is the one perpetuating all of this nonsense. Got it. I thought us gun-toting Republicans were an existential threat to democracy. Sounds like the people spewing that nonsense were actually the existential threat to democracy. Funny how that projection keeps going on and on and on. The people that are saying it are the ones that are doing it, much like the hate channels back in the day.
The left really has much more of a, I don't talk to you, I don't want to deal with you, you're deplorable, I can't break bread with you.
Yeah.
That attitude, and like all the right-wingers, they don't have that attitude.
So in a separate
Boom.
.gov survey of 3,000 adults after Charlie Kirk's killing, 72% of Americans said violence is not justified. 11% said it can be somewhat justified. But here's the big difference. 21% of self-identified liberals said violence is justified to achieve political goals, compared to just 4% of conservatives. Most of the violence is on the left.
Media is a cancer.
What?
Do you agree with that?
There's deep dark holes that are cancers, beyond cancers and death. So the number of posts on Blue Sky celebrating Kirk's death got so bad, Harris, the site was forced to warn users that glorifying violence or harm violates their guidelines. Now, I just spoke to the Rutgers University researcher, and he told me this doesn't mean that 50% of people advocate murder, but rather that it can be justified. They've been doing this for years, he said, and the needle is moving in the wrong direction. Harris?
You know that
But you know what? Every single Democrat Party member that chooses to go to the ballot and still vote this stuff into office, you're contributing to the problem. And it's now in black and white, because I'm pretty sure this study cost a lot of money just to be able to have it produced. Whoever did it, the university that did it, it's definitely a hot topic, talking point. Anybody that denies it at this point, in my opinion, is in complete denial. And there's no knocking through that. There's no getting into their brain. They're so warped that they can't even see any trees or forest at all. None. They see nothing. That's how some of these people are. And I can't do that anymore, okay? There's a major violent problem going on here. People that are like me are being targeted, and that has got to stop. There is no good excuse for violence in a civilized country. The people that are violent need to be in prison. Not on a zero bond. Prison. And that's what we were trying to do, is put the criminals in prison. I want everybody that doesn't belong in this country out of this country until we get our country stabilized. And then we bring those back that can help enhance our country, not be a dependent on our country, but an asset to our country. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm still working on that. But we still have some information. Lilly and Jack Sullivan have not been found. Sebastian Rogers, Summer Wells still have not been found. Layla Santinello and Holland Statt, all in Tennessee, still haven't been found, despite thousands of hours of searching and hundreds of hours of man hours trying to find those girls. Nothing has been able to provide them yet. We don't know where the girls are. We don't know where Lilly and Jack is. But you know what? In all of these, outside of the girls, Sebastian Rogers, Lilly and Jack, we believe that the mom and the stepdad are responsible in both of those cases. So anyways, potassium can't keep up plus oral. What is that going on? Be careful with potassium. There's also another one that you have to be careful of. I mean, you need potassium in your body. Just make sure you're not over. I had, it was when I was going through this where I had the brown recluse spider bite. I don't know if you guys can see that big scar. I have a huge scar on my wrist. They were pumping me with I can't remember if it was potassium or magnesium in my saline solution because I had an IV. I was very, very sick. I almost lost my life. Um, they ended up putting, like, they should have just went straight saline, but they did the saline with, I can't remember if it was potassium or magnesium, and they ended up shutting down my organs. Like, my organs, like, I could feel my organs literally stop working. And I remember how painful it was. And it was because I had way too much. I can't remember if it was magnesium or potassium, but it was one of those. And it scared me because I didn't realize that having too much of a supplement could cause that. But I absolutely 100% living proof that it does. And so they had to immediately just go straight saline on me and flush my system and get that stuff out as quickly as possible. Then it must have been potassium. I think it was the potassium in my IV. But that was back in either 2005 or 2007. I can't remember which it was. But I had a brown recluse spider bite and my arm swelled up and I had a line here and I thought it was just from the swelling. Come to find out it was a blood poison and it was almost to my heart. And so I had to be in the hospital for like a month because the vancomycin was $200 I needed the injection at least once a day, and it was $200 every single day outpatient. So they had to keep me in because there was no way I would have been able to afford the vancomycin that I needed every single day to try to kill the infection that was raging in my body. And so I ended up having to stay there. My bill was like $63,000, which for a month being, I thought it was going to be like $500,000 or something like that, you know, because they're so incredibly expensive for me being there a month. But it was $60-something thousand for a month in the hospital. But I'm here, and they did well. I'm glad I went to Lakewood Ranch. I had room service. Like I could order all day, every day. I don't even want to know how many Danishes I ate, but I ate a lot of Danishes. I love the Danishes there. I don't know what they were, but oh my God, they were so good. They were absolutely so good. All right, guys. Well, that's kind of wrapping up the show. We got you a little bit of updates on some true crime cases that we've been covering. Sebastian Rogers as well as Lilly and Jack Sullivan. The bottom line is it doesn't appear that Sumner County's doing anything for Sebastian Rogers. I mean, they haven't even asked for any money to help search for him. Nothing. They've asked for money for raises for themselves. They've asked for office, redoing their office for whatever money they needed for that. But not $1 have they asked to find a boy, an underage child that's missing from their own community. That, in all fairness, I believe their mom and the stepfather did something terrible to this child. And they're breaking bread. The county government is still breaking bread with the mom and the stepfather, having lunch with them and everything. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting from where I sit. And nobody's doing a damn thing about it. And it's awful. It's awful. They need to be searching for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We need to force their hand, either have them turn the case over or tell them to get off their butts and start doing their job. It's just sad. We don't have problems with any other case like we do with Sebastian Rogers and Summer Wells. Same thing. Same MO. Piece of garbage sheriffs. Piece of garbage sheriffs. We know damn well Ronnie Lawson is as corrupt can get. And the idiots in Hawkins County, no offense, keep voting the SOB in. Like, you vote, you get what you vote for. At this point, you don't even care about Summer. You know? It's the community. The community has involvement in this too. And I'm sorry, but if you're going to be in a community and have a missing child, and you wouldn't act this way if it was your missing child, then you're doing everything wrong. You're not being right, okay? Sometimes, and especially the people that want to say that they're godly and stuff there, what's godly keeping your mouth shut? Will you show me in the Bible where that's godly? You show me in the Bible where letting corruption run rampant is godly. Please, by all means, I'll sit here and wait. Show me the verse in the Bible where corruption and this nonsense is okay. And that people should that preachers are teaching, just sit on the sidelines, don't do anything. That's the godly way. When has that ever been the godly way? Where's the preachers in this area? Where's your prayer over this child? Where's the advocacy from anybody? From the politicians, the preachers, anybody? How bad is this county? How bad is this county? I'm starting to think it's infected. I'm starting to think it's infected. Sorry, not sorry. It's just infected. They need to give the case to the FBI. I agree with you. Seth, I agree with you. You know me, I'm 100%. I would have been okay with not, them just accepting some help. Oh, aren't you just all stretchy out here? Some help from the Secret Service or the U.S. Marshals, but when they turned down the U.S. Marshals, I realized right then and there they were not trying to search for your son, because anybody that wants somebody found, they're going to pull out all the stops. I mean, look at Mike Morrison in Washington, in Chelan, Washington. That man turned the whole case over to the U.S. Border Patrol because he knew it was the right thing to do, and he didn't have the resources to do it. There was no question. There was no pissing contest with him, because he was a good sheriff that just wants the case to be solved. He didn't care who solved it. 3 children were dead. We've had Sebastian Rogers missing for well over 18 months. Well over 18 months. What have they done to advance this case? They've done nothing. They've done nothing except shame everybody for shaming them for doing absolutely nothing. That's their MO. Either intimidate or arrest somebody to shut them up. It ain't happening. Obviously, we got a bunch of Democrats acting like they're a bunch of Republicans that reside in Sumner County. That is not a red county. You guys got a blue county. Because everybody I've seen act like a bunch of Democrats. You don't like me saying it? Oh, well. Oh, well. You don't want to get the stink of the Democrats? Change your party. They're a bunch of Democrats. Eric Struggle Snuggles, a Democrat. Ain't no good Republican gonna let a 15-year-old boy go without help. Ain't no Republican doing that. We're God-fearing people, and we don't give a rat's ass what anybody thinks. That's God. This man, they're Democrats. They're Democrats. They're Democrats. I may not be a perfect Christian, but I'm a Christian. I'd never act like that. No, sirree, Bob. No, sirree, Bob. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention's worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. And I wish to God I had my backgrounds. They allow you to have your backgrounds on Apple phones. Oh, we have one positive thing from an Apple phone. They'll let you have your background on an Apple phone, but not on a Samsung. Woohoo. I'll deal without my background, not to be paying an arm and a leg to have a phone. We're going back to Android. I'm just saying, I think everybody needs to ditch the Apple phone. They are, and not only that, if we really hate Bill Gates, why are we making him rich? Why are we paying him to do all this destruction to America? And how do we know what he's doing to our phones or what he's following us on our phones? How much information does he have about us that we don't even know, that we've given to him, knowing as corrupted as this man is, yet we're buying his product, filled with a whole bunch of Chinese crap in it here. Yet we're sitting here saying, oh, they're spying on us while we're on our Chinese phone by Bill Gates. I mean, really? It's time for us to ditch the iPhone and Apple products. It's time for us to protest Bill Gates and his death to America and no meat initiative, right? When it comes to Bill Gates, we're going to get cancer from his phones and have no real meat to eat. I'm just saying. Okay? I don't know about you, but I eat meat, okay? And I don't want brain cancer. So ditch the brain cancer and go with something that's a lot cheaper. Go with an Apple or an Android. We're going with Android. Oh, good gracious. That's why I hate iPhones. I'm right there with you, but I'm trying to break it. I gotta get away from it. I've just a little bit more. I'm almost there, guys. I'm almost there. Okay, all we gotta do is get through a couple more court hearings. We got to get through a couple more of the court stuff. We got to pay Tony back, and I'm ditching the iPhone. I'm done. I'm done. We're getting a whole new system. Once we get through all of this, we're getting a whole new system. Come hell or high water, I don't care if I've got to sell my right arm. We're getting a whole new system. Okay? Bye, Motorola. I don't know. I haven't. I got it. Well, see, this is my problem. I've got to have a great phone. I got to have a great camera. I got to have one that doesn't overheat nonstop like this piece of crap does. I could be out there with this phone here, and this phone will outpace this phone any day. And this is a Samsung. This one, it's me, Jen gave me. I still have it, right? Because I needed a phone. I lost my phone. My phone was stolen from me. And, so she gave me that phone to use. And now, I'm back to this. I should have bought a Samsung then. But I didn't. Motorola doesn't overheat. See, I need something that doesn't overheat. I'm sick of this. This is no good. Like, even out there when I had been out of my car 5 minutes and the phone started failing on me. Every time I go live from an Apple phone, it might be this and it might be that. No, your phone just overheats. Like, you're producing too much heat. No, how can other phones have me being able to be live on it and it not overheat, but everything else, it must be how many windows you got open, it must be this, it must be that. No, it's just the phone. And why the hell would I want something that bakes that hot? That's a little scary. What else is it doing? What is it doing I don't know it's doing? That's my question. What is it really doing that I don't know it's doing behind the scenes that's causing all this heat? It seems to me like this phone's double dutying somewhere. There's too much heat. So we'll figure it out. But my message to everybody is start converting. Get off your Apple stuff. It's expensive, but they have all kinds of Android stuff. And the good news is some of your Apple stuff is going to work with Android. Unfortunately, none of the Android stuff works with your Apple. Kind of funny how that works. So my suggestion is ditch the iPhones, ditch Bill Gates' New World Order bullshit, and let's start defunding Bill Gates, I'm done. And I can't believe Bill Gates has all this Windows crap in our federal government. Like, what are people thinking? This man is trying to take over the world. I have Samsung Galaxy 24 Ultra, has way better camera than any Apple on the market. Then that's what I was looking at the Galaxy 23 Ultra and 24 because the 25 is just a little too expensive, $1,200, and I can get a 23 for like $600. Like, I'm looking at that 23, and it comes with a terabyte. It's like, this is, hell yeah. And I do know the cameras, but not only that, but ever since I went to Apple, I cannot record. Like, I used to be, it takes me twice as long to edit videos. On my Apple as opposed to my Android, because when I'm on my Android, I can in one recording, I can turn my camera frontwards and backwards. With Apple, I have to pay for that feature. I have to pay a monthly fee for that feature that comes standard on Android. And what that does is whenever I want to show you backwards and I want to show you a scene and then I want to come back and start talking to you again, I have to do that in 2, 3, or 4 different videos on Apple, where I could stream it all on one video and just cut certain aspects out of the video, but it flips forward, it flips back. It doesn't make me have to stop the video recording or anything. And I can do that as many times backwards and forwards as possible. I love that feature with Samsung, and you do not get that feature unless you pay for it with Apple. And I find that disgusting, that I have to have an app to be able to record frontwards and backwards. These perverts called fruits, go figure. Get off, you big apples. There you go. Love it, YouTuber. Love it. All right. Well, that's kind of our thing. Delilah. Make sure there's nothing here that you guys... Here's Delilah, kind of crashed out. Look at her. That. She's so freaking lazy. Look at that. Look at that. She is lazy can get. She's lazy. She's just a lazy girl. I see her. You guys see her apple head? Yeah, she's a little apple head. She said, "I want some scratchies, Mommy." She got her hands up to the side. She said, "Just scratch me, Mommy. I've been waiting here. Just scratch me. I'm just being lazy." She said, I want my play date. We gotta go for our play date today, even though she's been over there. I don't know. I'm so damn tired. I still haven't caught up on my sleep, y'all. I really haven't. I'm exhausted. And I woke up this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm kind of dragging butt. I might go to my BFFs today. I might not. I'm forcing myself to go, but to be honest with you, I'm exhausted. In this bed for today, a Saturday, like movie and junk food. I don't know. It's kind of, I mean, like movie and junk food? Like, I don't know. And I made some beef stew. Oh my God, that stuff is so good. Did I tell you guys I don't really make a brown gravy anymore without some red wine? I'm running out of red wine. I don't drink wine. And the only time I have wine in my house is to cook with, because cooking wine is filled with sodium. If you don't buy anything that says cooking wine on it. Okay? If you need a white wine, use a Chardonnay. If you need a red wine, use a Merlot or a dark. I like bitter red wine, dry red wine for my gravy, but you don't need that much. But oh, good gracious, it just enhances the flavor of the gravy. Oh, anyways, I don't know if you guys saw my post, but I made this huge pot of beef stew. And I cut carrots, onions, celery, sweet potatoes were debuted in it, along with regular red skin potatoes. And the gravy was made out of beef stock and some seasonings, and then thickened up with some cornstarch. And it came out absolutely delicious, very, very hearty. And we ate it one meal, we ate it another meal. I've got something put out today for food. I got chicken wings. I got chicken wings at Save a Lot yesterday. They had a deal for $14. Ouch, my leg's starting to cramp up. For $14, I got a huge package of chicken wings. So I take the tips off of them. I cut all the tips off the wings. And I put them in a bag, because if you ever just need straight beef stock, those. Did you just whimper? Why are you whimpering? Those tips are good for just some straight chicken broth. If you just need some quick chicken broth, you throw those wing tips in. There's no meat on those wing tips. They're just bone, really, bone and skin. And so I find if you put them in a little pot, you make yourself some pretty good, quick chicken stock very, very quickly. And so that's really good. But the rest of them I cut up and made flats and drummies, and I've got them seasoned in some spices, some spicy spices, to give them a little bit of heat. And I got 14. I've got 32 wings out of that. No, I think how many tips did I get? I think I got like 16 or 17 tips. So times 2, whatever that is, because each wing is broke down into 2, because you got the flat and your drummy. And they were nice size. Like one of my flats was like this big. And I'm like, it's almost like not quite a turkey flat, but it was a big chicken flat. And so some of the drummies are pretty big too. They came off big birds. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Growing your own food no matter where you live. Yes, it's very important if you can. I go to Save a Lot to get coffee from Fine Groceries. Yeah. Well, I like their like all the canned vegetables there are good. But the one by mine, like I was looking at those bell peppers yesterday. Oh my gosh, they had some beautiful, gorgeous bell peppers yesterday. Green, red, and yellow. And I was thinking if I could have figured out what I wanted this week, Like if I was having fajitas or something like that, I would have gotten them because that would have been beautiful for some fajitas. But I didn't. But like some of the time I go in there, their produce is a little aging a little bit, so I'll bypass the produce. But like when I went in there yesterday, they had some fresh and gorgeous produce there yesterday. It's hard not to grab. I know I just did stuffed bell peppers. I was going to grab some more bell peppers. I'm like, nah, I just had those. So I was thinking, well, what could I use all the colors with? And it was fajitas, and I wasn't ready to prepare fajitas this week because I don't have any pico de gallo made. I don't have any, I just didn't have the stuff I wanted to have to make fajitas. Even the meat, meat's starting to get up there. So I was able to get 4 steaks though. I was able to get 4 steaks. I think I spent $4.99 per pound for T-bone steaks. And they were pretty nice size, so I broke them down into two steak packages. So that's 2 meals right there. And I got 2 or 3 meals out of the wings. So I'm going to end up making the wings today if I don't go over to Miss Laura's. Otherwise, that's what we're going to be having tomorrow. They're marinating. The more they season, the more they're going to be flavorful. So I got yellow squash and watermelon. That does sound good. Went out for wings last night. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to perfect my wings. I don't like putting them in the fryer. I don't want to fry them. I like baked, wings, but I feel like if you bake them right, they should have a very crispy crust to them, like a crispy coating. It should taste like the fried without being fried. And that's what I'm trying to go for. So we'll see how that works out, but I'm trying to figure out the best, what the temperature is, how long it is, what the we just got to play around a little bit because I'd like to have, how they have the wings at Publix where they don't have a sauce on them, but they're spicy. It's okay, but their spice is a little too spicy for my liking. So I want to get it a nice balanced spice where they're flavorful with a little kick, but not much. So that's what I'm going for. Where are you going? Where are you going? What? Do you not love mommy anymore? Like, mommy, I'm hitting the road. I'm hitting the road, Ma. I have a funny feeling she wants to play that BALL. Guys, don't forget to hit the like on your way out. Don't forget to hype this up. And we'll see you soon. I may come back later tonight, just like this. We'll see how the day unfolds. I did want to give you an update on Lilly and Jack. That's one case that is still, it's still a mystery. I mean, I think we're up the right alley. There's too many red flags with the mom and the stepfather. I think we're up the right alley with that one. I think we're spot on with Sebastian Rogers. And I think that, the more that we're out here and we analyze these cases and we stick to our convictions, and the more that people are publicly seeing us get right, I think the more our credibility from what the hate channels tried to make our credibility be, I think our credibility is really starting to take on its own life because we work very hard here, not just me, but everybody that's here, my audience, my mods, everybody, to try to analyze these cases and get these things right. So I'm very appreciative of that. I'm very appreciative of you. So you guys have an amazing Saturday. God bless each and every one of you. And we'll be back sometime today because I probably just want to bitch about something else. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it might be my nails. It might be my hair. It might be my yard. Or it might be another case. We'll see. God bless.